And we're live. I forgot to put the IntelliJams music in on this again. Next time we'll have that. We'll have that killer intro. All right, everyone, we are live. We are talking tests to run before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We got 37 days. So we're going to be talking about tests that you can do that can potentially teach you something that is going to be impactful before we actually get to the day. We're going to try to keep this around 30 minutes today instead of the usual 1 hour. So I said 10 in the title. We're just going to get to as many of these as we can in the next 30 minutes. You got the squad here. You got myself. I'm the least important person here. We've got Nate, Mr. Tactical and Practical himself, fresh onto a new role as CMO. I'll let him introduce himself in a little bit more detail in a second. And then you got Victor, who is heading up community here, testing expert. These two are going to be the ones who are giving you the advice. I'm just here to moderate. All right, boys, 37 days till the big event. You guys both love to test. If you are a brand out there, what are some things that you would still be testing inside of this next 37 days? I'm going to start with you, Nate. Let's give you the spotlight. Give yourself a quick introduction. And what is the first test that you would run with 37 days to go?
Yeah, Nate Legos, guys, big marketing guy, as you know, big whiskey guy, current CMO of Adapt Naturals, new brand for me. But if you are looking for a quick win in the next 37 days, I think the lowest lift, highest impact thing you can possibly do is test messaging across your site. Test headlines and copy, especially as it relates to gifting. You should have been testing evergreen brand messaging the entire year, but you can't really test gifting messaging in August. It's just not going to hit the same. So the next few weeks are really your only chance at testing things that speak not to the end user of your product, but to the gift buyer. It might be their spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, father, son, mother, whoever is going to be that gift buyer. Make sure you are crafting messages specifically for them. Test them across your homepage, your LPs, your PDPs, and really figure out what's going to be that core message that gets people to convert the way you want. You have the time to test it now, refine it a bit, test it again before BFCM gets here. So I'd go super hard on testing gift giving messaging right away.
So with gift giving messaging, do you have an example of how would that differ from kind of like that evergreen? What should people be looking to do when they're testing that messaging?
Yeah, so the core motivation behind gifting is much different than when you're buying a product for yourself. So when I ran marketing for Original Grain for the last 4 years, when we sold watches to men who were going to wear it themselves, we sold them on the lifestyle and the status and the confidence that they'll get from wearing our product. But the women in their lives, their wives, girlfriends who are going to be buying this watch for them for Christmas don't really care what the watch is made from. They don't really care about how he might feel when he puts it on. They are searching for a way to nurture and show their appreciation. So our messaging turned into something that sounded like, show your man he's worth it, with a gift as unique and reliable as he is. But again, you're now speaking to that kind of like desire to nurture and desire to appreciate someone rather than whatever the core benefit of your product is.
I love that. Also, as we're going here, guys, if you have a question or a comment on anything we're talking about, feel free to drop it into the chat wherever you're listening, and we'll do our best to answer those. All right. Messaging, testing your evergreen messaging versus gift-specific messaging as we go into the holiday season. I love this one. Again, I'm going to try to go back and forth between us as rapid fire for 30 minutes and get as many of these as we can. Victor, what are you thinking with 37 days to go? What would you be testing?
So one that I would say is low effort in terms of development will be the classic dollar versus percentage off that we all know. I think in terms of development, it will be super easy to set up, and what you will mainly want to prove there or to test there is like how people behave in terms of bringing more conversion, of course, profitability when you are showing the price, the discounts in terms of dollars off or percentage off.
I love this one, and it's one definitely worth testing depending on like what you sell. Like the AOV, the types of items you sell has like a big impact on whether people are going to see a dollar amount versus a percentage off as more motivating. And there's also just like a ton of best practices out there. Like, hey, if you're a high ticket item, then like the dollars off is going to look more attractive. If you're a low ticket item, then the percentage off is going to be more attractive. I think that's good kind of like foundational starting points, but like go test it, because like I've seen a lot of people think that, test it, and find out that it is actually the opposite. That is true in terms of, like you were saying, Victor, getting better conversion, but ultimately more profit per visit. And I think like as we're talking about these things, I know these two specifically are like big profit per visit fans over conversion. So a lot of what we're talking about in here, like when we're saying test this and like look at what's happening, I guarantee both these guys are going to say, make sure you're checking it on a profit per visit. That's where the real money is.
Yeah, well, and that's a good call out too, because this time of year, you know, the steeper your discount, more than likely your better conversion rate will be. But there's a point of diminishing returns there where you're actually going to make more money discounting less. And I see a lot of brands this time of year over discount and give away margins that they might not need to. So yeah, good call on that. Victor would definitely get that testing now. That's another thing you can't really test in October because like, well, the sale's not here yet. But these first few weeks of November are crucial for that.
Yeah, you actually hit on something there. I would love Victor to comment here. It's like there is a point at which you are discounting and actually just giving something away for nothing. Victor, I think you just wrote a blog post about this. You called it MED. Is that the term for like where to find that? What does that stand for?
Yeah, the minimal detectable, the minimal discount. I don't
minimal effective discount.
Yeah, minimal effective discount. Yeah. Basically, just finding that point where the discount that you are giving is actually bringing more profits instead of just giving it away, as you were saying. And yeah, the only way to know that is just through testing. So something that I would also say here is like, yeah, we are in October. Maybe we are not in a current sales period, but you can also gather information from previous campaigns that you have done. And maybe if you have run tests during those periods, and hopefully you have gathered some learnings there, right? And you have a sense of how people react to your discounts when you are in a sales date.
Love it. All right, Nate, let's go back to you. So we've talked gifting messaging, dollars versus percentage as the actual offer mechanism.
Yeah.
What else you got?
This one's going to be a weird one, Alex. I don't think we've talked about this. I don't think I've covered this on my podcast yet. So, but I can tell you, I've seen it work at 3 separate brands now. Go take some of your best performing static ads and put them as the second image on your product page. That real estate on the PDP is so important. And most people are, I don't think, getting the most value out of all the PDP images. They might, just show the product from a different angle. They might share some USPs, but it's never really persuasive. It's never really getting someone to click that buy button. And I think that's what that real estate should and could be used for. So the easiest way to start this, go take some winning static ads for a product, put them as the second and third pick on the PDP, test it and see what happens. When we started to do this, we saw like a 15 to 20% increase across multiple PDPs in revenue and profit per visitor. So again, super easy one, but can be super impactful if you're looking to juice performance of your hero SKUs.
I love that.
Have you tried like videos instead of the static one?
We have. It was kind of hard to do in Shopify without slowing down the whole page. There's a couple of softwares that can do it, but we've ultimately found that statics were a quicker and more reliable way to test it, because then we can iterate on those weekly. Then it's super easy without having to edit a whole new video.
Yeah, great. I tested in the past with a couple of luxury brands where we placed like a video instead of the static one. And the approach there, it was just to increase the perception of the value of the product through a video, because sometimes we are online and we are trying to get what is this product about, and maybe sometimes a video to explain a high ticket product, it's just very straightforward, and it works pretty well as well in terms of profit.
Awesome. We got a question about how to set up this test from Andy. Andy, we always set this up through IntelliGems just by using their image or element selector tool. You can actually go to IntelliGems, set the test up, set it up as a content test, highlight the photo you want to replace, upload the new one, and it can split test it for you. Because if you had to duplicate every PDP to do it, it'd be super hard. But that IntelliGems content test has an image selector feature. Did I explain that okay? I don't work for IntelliGems.
It looks like that's the right way, and I think it got even easier, smoother a couple of months ago, right, Alex?
Yeah, easier than ever to do those manipulations.
Awesome.
Cool. On the I love this idea. I actually had Mike from Groove Life on the podcast, on the IntelliGems podcast a little while ago, and he was talking about basically doing what you just said and finding what the optimal balance of images is from a risk mitigation perspective, as well as a selling features perspective. It's hey, trying to put imagery out there that is making this purchase feel more safe versus hey, imagery that's making this feel like I need the thing because of X, Y, and Z. And I think that's a perfect way to approach it.
For sure. And it'll be different for every brand, but I mean, whether you want to break down objections or just persuade people more, it's just such valuable real estate that I think it's overlooked by marketers a lot.
1000%. All right. Gifting messaging, dollar versus percentage, carousel PDP or carousel imagery. Victor, where's something else that you'd be testing? Something we can do in 37 days.
Let me try to share my screen there. Here.
Let me see.
So the other one that I was thinking of is...
Be able to zoom in here a bit, Victor. I don't know if people are going to be able to see.
Let me... Here one. So just assuming that you are sending most of your traffic, let's say, to a collection page. Also, these little badges, labels here that we put, top rated, bestseller, in those product cards. The reason why would you want to do that, it will be that you are sending a lot of traffic to the collection page and you want to kind of measure if it increase the product view rate. So you get more people in your product page, and from there you start seeing okay, does that increase conversions, and of course does that translate into more profits. So just these little budgets that I also think they are low effort in order to execute a test like this.
Yeah, and I think you can also, Nate's more of an expert on these things than I am, but using these badges, you can actually influence where you want to send people. So hey, when you're bringing people in for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you usually have kind of the blanket offer that people are coming in on, but then you can start to get a little bit more surgical. Badges are a great way from that collection page to be hey, look here. And even we could potentially test gifting messaging here too, Nate, by using the badge to say
top gift,
gift right. for dad, gift for so-and-so, and help people decide those. Because I think a lot of times during the holidays, at least for me, I end up buying gifts for my wife and I actually have no idea what I'm doing. So anything you can do to point me in the right direction is great. And again, like Victor was saying, test it. does putting badges into specific spots actually get people to those PDPs, actually getting people buying those products? And like, not only is it a good gifting item, but like you can start to send people to the best margin products. Like, hey, start to actually be specific about what you want people to buy.
Yeah, 100%. You nailed it. You said you weren't the expert on this at the top of the monologue there, but crushed it. No notes. And this actually leads me into my next test, if that's all right.
Go for it.
It's all about your merchandising strategy. I think this is something that gets overlooked again, but like if you're sending traffic to a page with a lot of products on it, duplicate the page and cut the collection in half. Only show 3 instead of 6, or only show 15 instead of 30. I would also play with price anchors here. We saw some pretty drastic increases in performance by intentionally putting the most expensive product we had first on a collection page. And we weren't selling like any of that one, but that's okay because that price made the rest of the products on that page look like an amazing deal, and conversion rate and profit per session went up. So, think about someone walking into your store for the first time who's probably not heard of you. And again, this is not your core customer who's coming here. This is a gift buyer who might not know exactly what they want, exactly what the best product you have is. So point them towards the products you want to be selling, and put things around that product to make that product look like a fantastic deal. And I think that goes into the badges, the price anchors, the offer on that. Make it easy for people to get to your ideal outcome.
When you're talking about the price anchor there, I kind of want to double click on this because I think that is a very underutilized tactic. And it's an interesting one where like you're not necessarily, because with 37 days, like people are probably coming like into the stream being like, IntelliGems is going to tell me to test my prices. It's kind of tough to test your prices in
you're a little late.
Days going. You're a little late on that one. But using items to price anchor is kind of price manipulation in a different way. So
100%.
Do you have like any examples of how you've done this, and like how do you actually see what's happening there? Like you do the thing and then like actually monitor and be like, did I get what I wanted out of that?
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in this concept of like personal price anchors. Like everyone's going to anchor the price of your product to something. More than likely in today's market, they're going to compare it to like the last thing they bought on Amazon, and that's not a battle that you're going to win ever. So I think our websites need to do a better job of contextualizing why we're charging the prices we are. This late in the game, I think a great way to do this is go get a product that exists already, that's priced higher, even if it's not a top seller, and try it out. What we did this year at OG, we launched a line of new higher end watches. A couple of them did pretty good. A couple of them did not. We took those ones that did not sell well, increased the price on them further, and then put them at the top of our highest traffic LP, and saw a giant increase in conversion right there. And what we found is those watches were actually more valuable to us, not selling any, but working as a price anchor than selling them at the price we had originally launched them at. So this doesn't require anything new. You don't have to go to develop anything. Take a product or a bundle that is priced higher than your core offer, and make sure people see that first. So then when you hit them with the next offer, it's going to look much better in comparison, and they're not thinking about buying some for $40 on Amazon.
Love
it. Just in general, like I think as you go into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's just this kind of like conception of like, or perception that I have to give like a discount to show value. But like Nate, what you were just saying right there, like there are so many ways where you can make something feel like a deal, seem like a deal, feel like you're getting value. That is not like, yo, Nate, here's 25% off of everything in the store.
Yep.
Victor, let's go back to you. What else would you be testing with a month and a bit?
The other one that I was bringing here was actually on your cart pages. So you know that I assume it gets more relevant when we are in these special dates as Black Friday, but we are talking here about shipping messaging, you know, and how relevant it gets, especially, I don't know, maybe you are buying something from for someone else, or maybe you are like very time sensitive right now because maybe you are planning a trip and you want to get your product, uh, I don't know, really fast, or you want to guarantee that you are getting your product, something like that. So the other test that I was bringing, let me share it here. Here. So it was this. This is one execution that I like. It's basically like in the cart, adding that unique selling proposition, in this case, fast shipping, as if it were like a product, and you will set the value for free. So basically you are adding one product to the cart, and then you are automatically adding this to the cart and saying to the customer, hey, this value is free for you, and you are getting that product in like very fast for you, right? So this is just like one way to display value.
Yeah, I think like the overarching arching principle there of like displaying the shipping options and shipping speed as we go into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's a gift giving time of year. Am I going to get this in time? Especially as you get into after Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and you actually get towards shipping cutoffs. Like people want to know, is it going to make it there in time? But yeah, in terms of like a test, Victor, like being able to show this as additional value, like, is this going to help with my conversion when someone gets to the cart? If I make sure that that free ship, like the shipping rate or the shipping type that they're getting, as well as like what the amount of days to get it is going to be. I know like we were actually joking at the beginning of this that we got the international squad here. I'm from Canada, Victor's from Colombia. This is even more important for like Victor and I, like when we're buying stuff and it's coming to Canada, I need to know, because the shipping rate that's displayed is not actually what I'm getting. So this is really important, especially if you're selling internationally as you get into crunch time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like, yeah, on that, like even just like your banners, like play around with what you're actually displaying. Because like as we get to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's the actual weekend itself. I think this is also something we should just talk about, is like, there's the weekend itself, which is absolute game time. Like, what is your best offer? This is when everyone is shopping. Everyone's combing through their emails to see like, what are you going to give me? But in like the week, even starting, I think when we looked at the data from last year, we started to see people discounting around now. I think it was October 13th last year was where we started to see the uptick. And then you see another uptick the first Monday of November. So we're like in a time right now, to Nate's point earlier, of like, it doesn't make sense to test discounting and promotions on a random Tuesday in May, because it's not the same as right now. So like use those banners as we're approaching game time to be like, is what our shipping is, free shipping, the best thing? Is it the actual discount? Like, what is going to be there front and center on land that is going to be motivating? Play around with it, test it, figure out what is actually going to be the most motivating.
Love it. All right, I got one more.
Hit me.
That work for you? Yep. Again, this kind of goes along the theme, is like your buyer this time of year is different than your buyer has been for the last 10 months. Yep. So let's rethink some of the basics. I want you to split test your ad traffic destinations. And I don't need you to go build new LPs for this, but test between your best, LP versus your product page versus even your home page. Dylan Ander texted me about this, I think 2 Christmases ago. He was like, have you ever run ads to your homepage? And I was like, no, I'm a more advanced, more high-level marketer than that. He was like, dude, try it. And we tried it and it crushed. So again, like, you got to keep in mind that the buyer behavior is changing. The people coming to your website in the next month are not who you're used to. So test out homepage, PDP versus your best performing LPs, and see what happens, because you might be surprised. And that's the funnel that you're going to want to have live from Thanksgiving to December 20th.
And so I guess 2 follow-up questions there, Nate. Do you see that change, like the effective mix of where you're sending people kind of like, let's call it always on versus as we head into Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Like, does the effectiveness of a particular destination change as we move into Black Friday, Cyber Monday from your perspective as you were doing it?
100%. I've never seen it not change at a brand that I've worked with. Because again, like that customer journey is just a very different thing. When a gift giver is buying, we know for a fact they are going to buy something. Not necessarily from us, but they're going to buy a gift for sure. You don't know that for certainty with your average shopper. We also know that they have a hard deadline on when they need to buy this by. And we also know that they are likely comparing offers and prices across a bunch of different websites. So we should not assume that anything about this customer journey is going to be similar. So where we send them to, I would guess your best performing LP is tailored to someone who's buying your product for themselves. It's super unlikely that that just automatically works for that person's spouse who's going to buy them a gift for Christmas. So yeah, I would rethink everything, test this from November 1st until Thanksgiving, and see what ends up winning.
One thing I'm going to add there is test that, but also test dependent on the channel they're coming from. So you talked about
Yep.
ads specifically there, but like, what about someone coming through your SMS channel? What about someone coming through email? Like, what they're going to want to see is going to be different, like you were saying, and it's going to be different this time of year than it is other times of the year. And I think like there's ads during, like, we're coming into the most expensive time of year to be advertising.
Yep.
We're there. We're
Yep.
there, and it's getting expensive. So test this on like email as well, because like a lot of what happens in Black Friday, Cyber Monday is you have been building up all of this brand awareness, brand trust, existing customers that you're going to be able to market to with the offer. Hey, come shop with us. Here's what we got. So that's going to happen through email. It's going to happen through SMS. And like, that's going to be a very different experience than someone who's coming through Instagram ad, Facebook ad, etc.
100%.
Yeah. I think on the same note about purchase intent, like the behavior inside the site, I will also test like skipping the cart and going straight to checkout. Of course, this will depend, and that's why we test it. But I have seen like in high intent purchase times, people just want to go straight to the checkout, right? There will be brands where AOV will get affected, but that's why we test it. I have also seen like for luxury brands, high ticket brands, these usually don't get affected if they skip the cart and go straight to the checkout.
Also, do play around with like what I know Nate's been thinking about this too. Is like play around with like what was the intent of the ad? Like, was the ad on a specific product? Like,
Right.
okay, like just skip. Like, I want that thing. I'm here to buy that thing. I'm not here to explore and kind of like, I don't know, build a lookbook or whatever. But again, this is going to be different for everyone, guys. Like, I think the biggest thing here is like these are all test ideas. That we're not saying that these are all for everyone. What's going to work for you is dependent on the realities of your business. This is why you test. We're just trying to give you inspiration that you can use to build your own hypotheses, go and test it, go figure out what works for you. We got 2 minutes left. If anyone has a last minute question that they want to get in here before we drop, do it. While we do that, maybe we'll go around the horn on like any kind of last minute things, anything you want to pump. Nate, definitely you should be pumping your pod. Anything else you want to be pumping?
No, I'm not going to promote my podcast because there's something more important going on. Two things actually. One, Victor's comment on AOV I think is super important. This time of year, people have money to spend. Give them an opportunity to spend more. If you have not tested bundles, if you've not tried selling a higher priced product, this is a time where people spend money irresponsibly. Take advantage of it. So there's that. But now something I want to promote. I'm going to be in New York City 2 weeks from today, November 5th. We are doing a cocktail tasting event. So sign up. I'll drop the link below, I guess, and I'll retweet this with the link too. But it's going to be great, and I'm never in New York, because I hate it because I live on a farm and that's home for me. But I'm making this happen because there's whiskey there and should be a good hang. So hope to see some of you there.
Amazing. Mixology class November 5th. AB tastings. Nate's going to be there. We got some whiskey-based drinks. Come learn how to make some of the classics in New York. We'll make sure that link gets into all the follow-ups on this. But also check out Nate's podcast too, Tactical and Practical. If you're not already paying attention to Tactical and Practical, I'll pump it for you, man.
All right, thank you.
Victor, anything on your mind that you want everyone to know before we drop?
Man, it was a pleasure to see Nate drinking Red Bull live.
I think we might have a question.
Yeah, we got one more. I've got an answer for it. Alex asked, what kind of success have you had around testing reviews and testimonials? So I've done a lot of this on those PDP graphics that we talked about earlier. I think that's such good real estate where people are kind of like a little bit deeper in the consideration decision tree. They can work great in ads, but on the landing and product pages, I think they can be gold. So I would take some of your best performing reviews or testimonials that do the best job at breaking through some of your common objections and put them in to that second or third graphic on your PDP. I'd almost guarantee that's going to work out for you.
Yeah. And also, if you can drive some behavior by the testimonials that you pick, that will be even way better. Like if we are talking a bit about the gifting person, maybe you want a testimonial saying that experience there.
Love it. All right. We will wrap it there. I just dropped a link to the event that Nate was talking about into the chat. We'll make sure that it gets into all of them afterwards. Make sure you give these two gentlemen a follow on Twitter. They are always posting amazing testing takes. And till next time, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.